everybody.
Hey, it's for better. I think number 16.
Number 16.
So we've been doing this for a few weeks, and hopefully it's blessing your life. It's a blessing to us to be able to share with you some things that we've learned over the years. We've been married for a long time.
Long time, 46 years, almost 47.
Yes.
And still in love.
Yes.
In love again. It's awesome.
Yes. So,
I'm a blessed man.
Well, we've
learned with you. Hey,
we've
Amanda.
learned a lot, and we've had a lot of help.
Yes, we
you
have.
know, from the things that we've learned, different books that we've read, and just people who have been good examples to us. So we're happy to be able to share with you.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in and inviting us into your world.
Hey, Randy, thanks for watching. Hey, guys, chat it up and ask us questions. Say hi to one another. We're so glad that you're with us tonight.
We are.
And today was chocolate-covered cashew day. And
which
you have missed
I wish
that.
I would have known that earlier. I love those.
Yeah.
Most kinds of nuts, pecans, macadamia nuts, cashews, almonds. I love all kinds of nuts. So
even this nut.
If I'd have known this was chocolate-covered cashew day, I might have made a special trip.
So tomorrow, all kinds of, well, to begin with, today in history, for some of you that are from the 70s, you remember the song "Tie a Yellow Ribbon on the Old Oak Tree"?
That'll date some of us.
Yeah, back in the Vietnam War, about the yellow ribbon was always about welcoming people home, or remembering the prisoners of war that you had out there. So it's a cool song.
Yeah.
And
you're saying it came out today?
It came out today. Actually, it topped the charts.
Today
in 1973.
Wow.
1973. So. Also, 4 years ago already, Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince and known as Prince again, passed away. So they're celebrating him tonight. So a lot of that going on. And tomorrow, man, I tell you, there's a national calendar you can find, but it's
we're just talking about some things while people get onto Facebook tonight. So
yeah, so glad that you're joining us, all of you. We're glad that you're with us tonight.
And Peggy.
Thanks for being with us. Be sure and share this and connect to other people, and help us get those links and those likes and all that sort of stuff. Tomorrow is National Jelly Bean Day.
Hey.
What's your favorite jelly bean? Let us know. Maybe we can Grubhub it over to you. Probably not. But
what jelly bean?
One jelly bean. What do you suppose the delivery charge would be on one jelly bean? Do you tip the driver when he brings you a jelly bean?
Okay, moving on.
Oh well, moving right along. Hey, tonight we want to talk to you. We want to continue on talking to you about what we have been the last few weeks, and that's been about how to meet your spouse's emotional need. About understanding how your spouse receives the message of love. And just like we speak to one another in a different language, French, German, English, all those sorts of things, and someone that does not understand that language, you can be expressing it quietly or loudly. You can be saying it very succinctly, or you could be just really putting out a lot of words about it. But if they don't understand the language, it's what you're endeavoring to communicate does touch their heart. And that's what we're really talking about, is how to help the heart and soul of our spouse.
Have you ever been in a situation where...
What are you laughing at?
Oh, I was thinking of something. Have you ever been in a situation where you were trying to talk to somebody who really didn't speak your language?
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And they're trying to tell you something, and you're like, no comprendo, or whatever you're saying. What? And they just keep saying the same thing.
Yes. They
over
say
and
it
over.
slower.
Thinking that the more they say it, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people are that way with love too. They keep doing the same thing, thinking eventually they'll get the message.
Yeah.
But if they don't receive that way, they're just not going to get it, no matter how many times you do it.
God made us all unique, and so we're talking about gaining knowledge and understanding of your spouse, so that you can minister to their heart and soul,
right,
and really encourage them. A few verses from the scriptures. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, "Therefore encourage each other and build each other up." And so this falls right into be an example of that and an application of that. Also, Ephesians, the last verse in chapter 4, first verse in chapter 5, says that we should be tenderhearted and walk in love. Tenderhearted toward each other and walk in love. And so tenderheartedness motivates us to want to listen, want to learn, want to have a heart for our spouse,
right, and
to minister to their heart,
yes,
by learning. And finally, Philippians chapter 1, verse 9 says that may your love abound. It's actually a prayer that your love would abound yet more and more in knowledge and all judgment. And the Catholic version says that your charity may more and more abound in knowledge and understanding. And I kind of like that word charity because it brings out the fact of giving. And we're talking about giving love to your spouse. It really calls upon each of us to learn our spouse and give that love that would bless their heart. And so we talked about a couple of them. There's 5 love languages, so to speak. And the first was words of affirmation. And like one person said, if this is your love language, if this is how you hear and communicate love, then unsolicited compliments mean the world to you.
Unsolicited.
Unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Also, that insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. But kind, encouraging, positive words are life-giving. You don't just want to hear, I love you. You want to hear the what behind that. What motivates it? What do you mean by that? Tell me more. So words affirming you. The second one we talked about is quality time. That if that's a person's love language, then they want to have your undivided attention. Okay, this is not sitting on the couch, everybody on their device, or watching TV even. It's doing something where you're with them. You're
Hi,
right
Allie.
there with them.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. Wow, it's good to see you, Davesy.
Yeah, miss you.
And so it's the love language, and by that we mean speaking that word, communicating the reality of love to a person's heart and soul, telling them in words, telling them in a way that they really receive the message that they're loved, is quality time. To spend that time with them. Like we said last week, it's not just be sequestered with one another. It's not just working with each other like we do. That's not a date. That's not quality time. That's not where she has my undivided attention. Right. It's not even going shopping and looking forward to when she goes to the fitting room so that I can catch up on the news or the sports on my phone. Or listening to music or checking my emails while we're there. It blesses her when I'm all there. And so that's quality time when they have your undivided attention. So what's the third one?
So, hey, the one that we really wanted to talk about tonight, that was all kind of a review.
Yeah.
So, but what we wanted to talk about tonight was the love language of receiving gifts. And so whenever there's something written about love, there's always that part of it that is in the spirit of giving.
Yes.
And of course that comes from God, our Father, who loved us so much that he gave his only begotten Son. So God was the one that showed that love is always has that spirit of giving attached to it. God loved us so much that he gave the best gift ever. Gave Jesus, and he saved us from our sins, which we could never do for ourselves. But if your spouse or loved one has a love language of receiving gifts, it doesn't mean they're materialistic.
Right.
Doesn't mean
you guys, we need to hear that.
It doesn't mean they're carnal. It just means that something like this, it's really glary, I guess,
that's right,
might mean that you thought of them.
Yeah.
So the gift, this is a girly looking gift. It's all shiny and silvery and all of that. But it's not just a woman's love language. Receiving of gifts could be a guy's love language too.
Yeah, could be a boat.
What that represents is that not necessarily, and it's important that there's something inside, but it's what's important about what's inside is what it speaks. It says that my loved one thought of me. Wow. It represents thought and effort to actually act on that thought, to procure a gift to give to someone. And so that's, if your spouse or your loved one has a love language of receiving gifts, then it's not the price of the gift, it's the fact that you thought of them that's really touching their heart and making them feel loved. So it doesn't really matter what it costs. Wow. It's that you thought of them. We were talking about this earlier as we were just preparing, and we were talking about, well, like on a birthday or Christmas, and those are important times. And if your spouse has that love language, for sure, don't forget to get them a gift for their birthday or for Christmas. But those are more occasions when a gift is expected. Yeah. And so it doesn't kind of have that same feel as a gift on like an everyday. Like you think of me every day. Like I don't want my spouse just to think of me on my birthday and Christmas. I want to know that he's thinking about me at other times too. And if he brings me a little something, a little gift, that touches my heart. Like, oh, he thought about me. That's what that represents. Like a gift doesn't just fall in his lap. He had to make an effort to get that. And so sometimes he'll do, special little things like the other day he went to the store. He went to, we texted him while he was out, like, could you also stop and get, I forget what it was, eggs or something. I asked him to get, would you also get eggs? And so he stopped and got eggs. He stopped at Hy-Vee. Well, in our area, Hy-Vee is also the home of Starbucks. And so when he came home, he brought me a little unexpected gift. He brought me a cappuccino. And so he knows that I like cappuccinos. And so that's thoughtful, right? That touches my heart. Like, oh, he thought of me while he was getting that. And so the giving of gifts is a legit love language that some people have. And they feel loved when they get a gift. It really touches them in a deep way. Just like words of affirmation might do it for somebody else, receiving a gift does it for people with this love language.
We're talking about passing along the sweetness. Just if I could say it that way, you might say, well, that was sweet. Well, yeah, it's being sweet to your spouse.
We want want to show our spouse love in a way that touches them. Not in the way that touches us, but a way that touches them. That's what love does. Yeah. Love thinks of the other person. Coffee is like its own love language. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But here's something that I've heard people say before. I've heard people say, well, in my family, we didn't gifts were not a thing. Yeah. Like we didn't value gifts as I was growing up. So, I don't give gifts. That's not a big deal to me. So I don't even know how to give gifts. Well, you know what? If this is your spouse's love language, you need to learn another language then. And the good news is this is probably the easiest love language to learn, giving of gifts. So if this is your spouse's love language, I want to encourage you, don't think about what you would want to do. Think about what would bless them. And learn to put a little action with your thoughts, okay? And begin to bring gifts to them. Maybe it's something as simple as, oh, I know, my spouse has been craving popcorn from the movie theater. That's what they really miss, or whatever. Maybe you can just stop at the store and get them some movie type popcorn just because they've been missing it. And if that's your spouse's love language, that'll mean something to them. Now, giving of gifts is not my spouse's love language. So if I'm at the store and I think I want to get him something, I'm going to get him, that's a cool little pair of socks with, they're kind of funky and cute, and I'm going to get those for him. Or I'm going to get him a new shirt. Yeah, I could always use a new shirt. I'd love to get that for him. And I put that in a bag, and I bring it home, and honey, I brought you a gift. I got you a gift from the store. He's going to take it in, put it on the bed, and not even look at it right then. He might look at it before he goes to bed because it's in the way, but it just doesn't touch his heart in the way that I think it should, because that's one of my love languages is gifts. And so, but it's not his. So it doesn't do me any good to pick up something special for him. He just thinks, why'd you spend that money? Right?
Sad true.
You didn't have to spend that today.
But I do appreciate it. I've come to realize that that's her love language, and you can kind of figure out your love language by just kind of looking at when you want to say love, when you want to express to somebody that you love them, what would come to your mind first? How would you do that? Mm-hmm. How would you feel loved? But how would you say I love you to somebody else?
Yeah. Something else I was going to say about giving of gifts. What was it? Oh, it was profound. And just continue to talk, and maybe I'll think about it.
Okay, so we like to give you guys a tip. I guess I just want to share, though, come back and just say amen and affirm what you said about it doesn't matter the cost of the gift. It doesn't have to be real expensive. It's the thought put into it that is important. And
like it's something personal. Like your loved one knows you, and that's why they got you this. Yeah. Oh, let me show you this. This isn't what I was going to say, but this is an example. So, for one of our granddaughter's birthdays, we didn't take it down or send it, but we arranged for her to receive some painting supplies. Like she would sit and paint all day. She's learning to do watercolors, and so she's learning to do all of that. And so when she opened her gift, she said, "Oh, they know me." Because, and we do, but that's how it touches people who have that love language of gifts. They feel like they're known. Yes. And how beautiful is that when you feel like somebody knows you and they want to give you a gift that would mean something to you.
Wow, that's exactly it. That's it. Yeah. And just think about that. That can be a real picture for us. They know me. Yeah. With whatever the language is, they know me. They were thinking of me.
Yeah. So some of you, if you're not married, you might be thinking, or maybe you have kids, or maybe you have a boyfriend, or maybe it's your parents, or your, just your friends. Everybody has love languages. Yeah. And we can bless them in ways that speaks love to them, whether it's a romantic love or whether it's just a friendship love or a parental love. We can find out the love language of the people around us and begin to pour out love in those areas that mean a lot to them. Yeah, you can minister to their heart and soul. I'm full of stories about this, I guess, because this is one of my love languages, but this happened to me when I was a kid.
Hey, the Louisiana are with us. Cool.
Hey, Joel and April. So this happened to me when I was a kid, and as I've become an adult and learned about these things, I've come to understand my response to this situation that happened to me. So one of my birthdays when I was a kid, so I grew up with, there were 6 of us kids. We lived in a tiny, tiny little town, and we didn't have a lot of money. We were supplied for. We never went hungry, but we didn't have a lot of money. Dad worked hard and was great, but we didn't have a lot of money, and I understand that. Okay, so I have adult understanding of the situation now, okay? But for one of my birthdays, my parents bought the family a gift. And that was my birthday gift, was the gift for the family. And at the time, I was happy to have the gift, but it didn't make me feel special, like, oh, this is my birthday gift. And I think that's because all of my life I've had this love language of receiving gifts.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not a huge deal. It's not that I don't feel loved if somebody doesn't give me a gift, but it is one of my love languages. So, but that gave me a tweaky feeling when I was a kid, because that is one of my love languages.
I can tell you this: when we're out shopping, she will buy gifts, and I'll say, "What are you doing? Why are you what? Why are you doing that? For them now." And she'll think of people and just buy them something, and it's not their birthday, or anything. It's just
I don't do it as much as I want to. I want to do it, and I think of doing it a lot.
Yeah.
But I know that we're in covenant, and so we make decisions as a couple. And if it's not a priority for us as a couple, then I have to curtail my desire to give a lot of gifts. So we cooperate. It's okay.
Yeah,
we work it out.
If I'm going to want to build somebody up, I'm going to send them a text or give them a call. So I'm going to say something.
He's going to give him a card with a lot of words in it.
A lot of words in it. She's going to give him a gift, which is wonderful and beautiful, and it's not carnal, it's not greedy, it's not a love of things, it's not a love of the world. Somebody needs to hear this. Having the love language of receiving gifts does not mean they're a greedy, carnal person. It's just how God has wired them in a special way so that they express and receive love and feeling loved. They feel loved when they receive a gift. Just like she did not feel loved on that birthday when the whole family got a gift. I understand. It's not selfish. Oh man, hear that, please. It's not selfish or anything like that. It's just the way God has wired us to show charity, show love to other people, and build one another people up, minister their heart and soul. So as far as an activity, you did a great job sharing that, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I thought you
thanks.
really
Well,
did.
hopefully it blessed you guys. And hey, if you've never received a gift from me, that doesn't mean I didn't love you or I haven't thought of it.
And it doesn't mean that I'm so tight that I wouldn't let her.
I didn't mean for it to sound like that either. I'm sorry if it
fine.
did.
Well, tell me how good I am. Tell me I'm
You're
good.
awesome.
I'm awesome.
You're just amazing.
Oh, thank you. So, a tip for tonight. You want to discover your love language, and especially you want to discover your spouse's love language.
Right.
If you had a boyfriend or girlfriend, this is not selfish. It's always fun. It's always fun for us to do a self-discovery and get to know ourselves better. But it's always, like Jesus said, it's more blessed to give than to receive. So it's even better than finding your love language is finding out how you can communicate to minister to your spouse. Communicate I love you to them so they really feel and know that they're loved. You really minister to their heart. So what shall we give them a tip tonight? Ask your spouse, when do you feel loved? What have I done something, said something, given you something? Is there something in our relationship where you especially feel loved, where you know you're loved? And how's that? That
Sure,
work?
that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Next week, we have a couple more
Yeah.
love languages to cover. So if we haven't covered it yet, hang on, come back next week, and I will be talking about at least one more love language. And I like what Joel said. God is a big gift giver, which we talked about in the beginning of this post tonight, that God gave the biggest gift ever. And so know that even if somebody is not reaching out to you, a human being in love, know that you are loved.
Yeah.
God loves you completely, fully, and He is crazy about you. So you can always rest in that, knowing that you're very, very loved. And we love you too.
Yeah. And in the midst of this coronavirus thing that we're going through, realize we're going to come through it. You're going to be all right. You're going to come through it. The sun will shine again. It will be a beautiful day. God didn't change. His love didn't change. Jesus is still on the throne. and you're going to be all right. God's even going to
Yes.
make all the stuff that's happening work together for our good.
He is. He is.
Hallelujah. And He's going to be glorified in the midst of it.
Absolutely.
We do love you.
We love you.
Thank you so much for joining
Thanks
us
for
tonight.
listening.
And we'll see you next week. Bye
Bye
now.
now.